Welcome back to the State Farm Analyst Desk for a little bit of Worlds Cooldown action after an exciting kickoff to our group stage here in 2021. Now, of course, we did just see Rogue take down Cloud9 in another EU versus NA matchup, and we will get to breaking down that matchup soon enough. I promise you that much. But as this is Worlds Cooldown, we're going to hit the rewind button and go all the way back to the top of the day to talk about our Mercedes-featured matchup. That was two World Championship teams, of course, our defending World Champion and the previous ones in FPX versus T1 Gumayusi, going at it with our defending champions coming out on top.
Yeah, we saw, T1 doing a great job of playing against FPX. They took the Yuumi pick. We saw FPX have no idea what to do against the Yuumi. I feel like FPX really just didn't have a good read, tried to put a lot of resources in Nagari on the top side. And I mean, DK just looked clean.
Yeah, and I mean, I think the big thing was, given the way that their composition worked, it would have behooved them to maybe play around, that lane that they were bringing out into the Yuumi, and they did not. I do think FPX should be able to adjust, but if we are going to be looking at these super strong bot 2v2s, I'm very curious to see what their answer is, because as you and I talked about, how teams have beat FPX, like EDG, like RNG, has been through having such a strong matchup on that bot side and making sure that Chris cannot affect the map.
Chronicler, in so many ways, it felt like this game set the tone for the day, for exactly the conversation that's being had right here. Questions about the meta and where teams would want to reach, and it feels like T1 Gumayusi set that tone right out the gate.
It was kind of incredible, because I think in my expectation, FPX, T1 both incredibly strong teams, and I was expecting T1 to be somewhat favored, but I didn't expect a stomp to this extent. And I was already also saying this backstage to Emily and Lyric. For me, the biggest surprise was, and this is something that I think that LCK has been appropriately criticized for, is that it feels like the LCK gets a lot of flack for being slow, not as accurate anymore, but our drafts generally, they lag behind a little bit, a lot of the meta developments, and seeing T1 be the first one to pull out the Yuumi and then instantly influencing the meta for the rest of the day, I think makes me very happy.
All right, well, I'm going to come right back to you, Chronicler, on this next point as we take a step back and look at how the entirety of the day shook out with a quick peek at our standings. Now, of course, it's only one game for every single team, but you might notice a little bit of a trend, and that's the LCK going 4-0 on the day. Everyone, even Hanwha Life Esports, stepping up. So how does it feel? How does it feel to know that every single team from your region is starting out on the right foot?
Well, I think it's important not to draw any foregone conclusions off of a single day of best of ones.
That's not how we do things here. That's not how we do things here.
This is your moment, Chronicler.
The teams I expected to looked good, but what I am very happy about, and what has been somewhat of a point of frustration for me, and I think the other LCK casters as well, is the sentiment that in the LCK, the only good team was T1. And is T1 the best team by a fairly large amount? Yeah, most definitely. They are just without match. Definitely in the LCK. At Worlds, obviously too early to call. In the first match today, yes, but it's not like the team is without flaws. But the wins that Hanwha Life and GNG in particular found to me make me very happy and fill me with confidence. And I'm not one to draw quick conclusions.
Right. And LCK will win Worlds. Got it. Yeah. Understood.
LCK double fine.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I'm glad you brought up both Hanwha and GNG, because I think that when we talked about GNG, I did mention that they tend to be really hesitant around playmaking, even if it's very obvious that they recognize those timing windows. And today we saw that when they are able to make plays early, and they're not like punished for it, or they don't make some sort of misstep, they play very confidently from ahead. And then from Hanwha, I think the thing that's impressed me the most is the fact that Willer actually looks like he's communicating well with the team, which was one of their largest weaknesses in their run to get here.
Well, GNG definitely a pleasant surprise. To tell you else who was, it was T1, who had a particularly dominant showing today. So we're going to hand it over to Lore, who spoke with T1's victorious bot laner, Gumayusi. I'm very sorry. I'm going to get that by the end of the tournament. Earlier today about what it means to him to be playing on the world stage.
And we're back in Iceland after T1's amazing victory against Detonation Focus Me, and I'm joined by Gumayusi to talk about this and his run at Worlds. Thank you so much for joining me. How did you react when you learned that you would be the starter for today's games?
오늘 데토네이션 포커스미 상대로 압승을 거두셨는데 인터뷰 응해주셔서 너무 감사하고 오늘 선발이라는 걸 알게 됐을 때 어떤 기분이었나요?
선발이란 거 알았을 때 되게 긴장도 좀 되고 이 롤드컵이란 큰 무대를 처음 해봐가지고 어젯밤에 잠도 좀 잘 못 잤었는데 이렇게 첫 경기 잘 마치게 돼가지고 많이 기쁩니다.
I was nervous. It was my first time playing on such a big stage at Worlds, so I couldn't even sleep well last night, but I'm glad that I was able to have a successful first game.
Well, I hope that you can catch some sleep tonight after this amazing performance because you played so well and T1 looks super strong right now. And as you said, this is your first Worlds. What does this tournament mean to you and what do you hope to achieve here?
네, 오늘 밤에는 꼭 푹 주무시길 바라겠고요. 이 말씀하신 것처럼 이번에 첫 번째 월즈입니다. 본인에게는 어떤 의미를 갖고 있나요?
원래 이번 연도 처음 시작할 때 저의 목표가 경기를 한 번이라도 나가보자였는데 이렇게 월즈까지 오게 될 거라고 생각을 잘 못해가지고 좀 얼떨떨하지만 이렇게 온 김에 월즈 목표는 당연히 우승으로 하고 싶고요. 그걸 이뤄내기 위해서 좀 팀 전체적으로 노력할 생각입니다.
Well, at the beginning of this year, I never imagined my goal was to play one game on stage. So I've never imagined that I would be making it into Worlds. But now that I'm at Worlds, my goal will be winning it all, winning the trophy. And in order to achieve that as a team, I think we all have to work really hard and give it all we got.
Of course, and you're going to go through an interesting group at first here in the group stage in Group B, facing EDG in your second game tomorrow. What do you think of this matchup?
그러면 이제 B조에서 두 번째 경기는 EDG와 치를 예정이신데 어떻게 생각하시나요?
EDG가 이번에 LPL에서 썸머 우승을 했기 때문에 상당히 강한 팀이라 생각하고 그리고 EDG는 바텀이 상당히 강한 라인이라 저희가 잘 해야지 내일 경기가 좀 좋게 흘러갈 수 있을 거라 생각해요.
So EDG, they are the summer champions of the LPL, and I'm pretty sure that their bottom duo is really strong. Their lane is so strong, so I think I am, together with my lane partner, really have to perform well in order for us to be in favor of the matchup.
And it's going to be a fantastic matchup to watch for sure. But for now, 감사합니다 for the interview. Gumayusi and Jisun, thank you for the translation, as always.
Thank you very much, Laura. If there are any nerves, they definitely didn't show today with the dominance displayed in that victory. But the EDG matchup tomorrow will be a different sort of test for the T1 squad. Today, though, was also a great day for the NA versus EU rivalry with two big ones to close it out. Both regions getting a win. So it just, I mean, at this point, I feel like everyone should be happy.
Yeah, I feel like, you know, again, mean chroniclers and bystanders, we're going to be happy no matter what happens.
Yeah.
But honestly, I'm super excited to see some life coming out of NA, especially who we all know a lot of us were counting them out. Team Liquid looking super good. And then Rogue, after their shaky playoffs, a lot of people also kind of discounting them coming out so strong.
Yeah, and I mean, I think the big thing for me was how we're Rogue, so like we talked about this with TL too, right? Like we haven't seen them in a while. What are they going to look like? Scrim rumors aside, will Rogue time hit again? And I really enjoyed this composition from them. I thought it was incredible, especially in the mid game. They were able to execute it very easily to help snowball. And I think it plays into their natural strengths, which are just having incredibly strong individuals and especially strong individual laners.
I do think, though, Chronicler, as we just took some highlights from the last game of the day, Cloud9 up against Rogue there, that there are still a lot of the concerns that we had around the Cloud9 roster going, you know, throughout play-ins being exemplified in this very group stage game.
Yeah, because I think C9, from a lot of the teams that I've seen, we've seen a lot of teams have like good games and bad games, but C9 simultaneously hit like their peaks and then also their valleys within the same game, and sometimes within like really short time spans where they'll have a really good read on a cross-map play, where they're able to like simultaneously gank bot and then also use the pressure that absorb or that draws to then also dive bot lane, and then it looks amazing. And then two people get caught at a red buff for no reason, right? And then there's like you can get the idea behind some of these plays. The teleport plays also comes to mind. And I don't think that that's an individual player thing, right? It's really easy to look at that and go like, aha, what does this top laner do? But like, obviously, those are team calls. And I think that C9, if they can play to their peaks, are going to be a really good team. And I mean, I think that's why they won the spring finals. But if not, if you do that against FPX and Dom1, I don't think it ends very well. You can't really make a mistake against those teams. So there's a lot of cleaning up to do there.
All right, well, while Cloud9 stumbles out of the gate, Rogue definitely does not, picking up a sweet first victory. Let's hand it back over to Lore, who is standing by with Odo.
Thank you, Dash. Rogue pick up their first win here against C9 in the group stage. And Odo, thank you so much for joining me. Congrats on picking up this one. I mean, you heard that you were slotted in the hardest group when it comes to Western teams. So how important was it to pick up this one today?
Yeah, I mean, the group is hard, but we have at least the dankest timeline here with EU versus NA. So there is something positive in this group, you know. We get to beat Cloud9 twice. So yeah, I mean, worst case for us, we go 2-4, but we go 2-0 against NA, so that's a dub for us. And best case, we go 2-0 against NA, and then we make it out of groups by beating Dom1 or FPX, maybe once or twice, depending on how we show up.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's a tough group, but at the same time, it's just a test for us because we've been slumping kind of in playoffs, and our performance wasn't really the best. I feel like regardless of what group we had, if we showed up the way we showed in playoffs, we were not going to get out of any group pretty much. So for me personally, it's just like, yeah, group's hard, but at least I want to play good. You know, I just want me and Rogue to play really well and yeah, just put up a good performance. And if we lose, then at least we lost knowing that we played the best we could with this like version of Rogue that we have right now. So I don't know, it was a bit disheartening, you know, seeing a couple of easier groups left and right, but for me it doesn't really matter. It's just kind of just competition.
Yeah, and it's good to have a challenge, I feel. I want to talk about Rogue time because you may not have seen Twitter yet, but everyone hitting the 20 minutes was like, oh my God, what's going to happen? What is going to happen?
For sure there was a graphic.
No, not yet. But hopefully for the next game, we'll see about that. But I mean, yeah, I want to talk about the mid game for sure because you were mentioning the playoffs and how you guys didn't have a good performance. Would you feel like you fixed these mid game issues that you had in the LEC?
I mean, I feel like in our game today there were some times where we played a bit slow. I mean, I don't know. It was okay. I feel like we threw after the Nasher thing, but that's because we kind of got baited by Blue Trinket on the top of a pink, and then they just ran in like 2 seconds later. So I feel like we kind of skipped a step there on how we take control with Nash. So I feel like we kind of threw, and we were still kind of like a bit slow, but at least I felt like we had better plans. We weren't really kind of like just AFK around the map. I felt like maybe today we were a bit slower than usual. But I do feel like the Rogue time meme is kind of dead, I'd say. Things are a lot better for us when it comes to mid game. We have different goals in game now. We are like, you know, happy with just getting vision, sitting on vision and stuff like this, concepts like this, that we weren't really like so happy in the past. So we were always kind of like just looking at the big picture, like, yeah, we play for this tower, but we didn't really know how to get to like the good setup for that play. So right now I feel like there's a lot more steps that we have in mind when it comes to what plays we do. So I feel like slowly over time, Rogue time kind of died. Might come back at some points, but right now it's pretty dead.
Let's not talk about that. There was a good game today, a good setup for tomorrow, which is going to be the big challenge, I feel, fencing off against Dom1. They looked scary today, really. Any thoughts on this matchup before?
I mean, today I felt like it was kind of draft diffy in Dom1 versus FPX. I feel like Yuumi first pick was kind of OP, you know, and I feel like they didn't really trade the picks that they needed to trade for Yuumi. So yeah, they look really, really good, but I'd put that on draft diffy. But also, obviously, it's Dom1, you know, it's going to be a hard game. So yeah, I mean, it's our first test because today wasn't really a test. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, we'll see what we do tomorrow.
We'll see about that indeed. For now, Odo, thank you so much for the interview. Congrats on saving EU's honor today.
Yeah, it was a disappointment.
It
what
really
happened?
was. Well,
But it is what it is.
next chapter tomorrow. We'll see about that. Thank you for the interview, and back to you, Dash.
Oh my goodness! Welcome back to Worlds Cooldown. That's a perfect precursor to looking at the schedule that we have for ourselves tomorrow. What's on the docket? Another 8 games. That's right. We don't slow down here at Worlds 2021. FLICKR, I'll come to you first. You got 8 games to choose from. Which one gets your spotlight?
It has to be T1 versus EDG. T1 actually are 7-3 against EDG historically. Their only win coming from that 2015 MSI final. But it feels like roles have finally reversed, right? T1 not the dominant powerhouse this time. EDG coming out as LPL champions. And I mean, again, LCK, they had a field day today. LPL needs to come back stronger tomorrow.
Chronicler, what about you? You got to go for something else, because I know you're also looking at that one for sure. But
yeah, thanks, Lyric. Really appreciate. No, I think Mad Lions Gen G actually is a great matchup as well. I think Mad Lions stylistically should match up fairly well into Gen G if they play a little bit more to their comfort. And if they just look a little bit better individually, I think the team, what we saw today, wasn't really indicative of what Mad Lions can actually bring. But if Gen G do win that, then they're on their way of finishing up highly in the group, which bodes well for both LCK fans and also my pick'em. So I'm going to be looking out for that one.
There it is. Always got the pick'ems on the mind. Well, you guys may not be aware of it at home, but it's a bit of a meme here on the team that Emily and Chronicler share a brain. And while he chose his matchup there, she gave me the shucks. I was in the same exact space. So I'm sorry to do it to Emily, but now we're down to 6. Where are you going?
So I'll go the final one, actually. So TL, LNG. So we've talked about LNG strengths and weaknesses. For TL to come out and have a really strong showing against MAD, I think puts a very different perspective on this matchup, where I would have thought like, oh, you know, they might struggle against LNG, especially with some of the windows that LNG seem to find for fights. But now I'm a lot more interested in what happens. And it closes out the day, so that'll be fun.
There you have it. Oh, go ahead.
I just want to say, right, Emily, all day being like, I'm not biased. I'm here to tell you guys like what the true gameplay is. Finally, the NA and you showing
Seeing
That's
the
first time.
Seeing the light.
It's the first time.
I hear Team Liquid LNG. This is the matchup. All the matches we have.
I think it's interesting.
I
like,
love
given
it.
the narratives of both teams, it's not
Hey, don't stamp out.
No,
all right?
It's great.
All right, thank you very much. Okay, well, there you have it. Just the 3 of the many matchups that we have coming at you tomorrow. They all promise to be amazing, but that will wrap it up for day number 1 of the Worlds group stage. We'll be back tomorrow to do it all over again with Worlds Countdown at 12:45, so make sure you mark your calendars. Have a good night. Until then, stay healthy, stay safe, and be good to each other, all right?
Welcome to the opening day of Worlds 2021 group stage in Reykjavik, Iceland. It all starts with a battle between the last 2 world champions, T1 Kia and FPX. We also have some exciting fights between EU and NA at the end of the day.
This means that things like Misfortune should be very high priority lock-in, but are we? No.
No one first picks Yumi. There's no.
Oh, you
oh, okay!
That's a first pick!
Yeah! Okay! Ignite, pillar, damage. Doomy gonna get himself a knockup and flash away. He will just survive the ignite, but the team is coming in for a little bit more as Showmaker wants in. Channeling the top, not gonna find it. Good patience! And Showmaker gets first blood of the group stage as it's a 1-0 game for T1 Kia. Ning starts up the fight, needs some damage to Maple, of course he's the tank, he's got a good front line, good Evan Wolf coming, but he's gonna be stunned. Gala chased down, Maple to them for 1 kill, gets for 2, gets for 3, Maple wants more, Aphelios finds kill number 4, the quadra kill for a Tryndamere.
So what else do you when he does go for that? They should know buff niche, but they're going into the 2v2.
Lock up, Yumi coming out, trying to body block as much as possible. Unibon, though, is burning, has to be careful. The reload coming in. Unibon flashing on safety, ticking, and a Yumi grabbing the first blood. Cat's out of the bag, and Gang might reach right into a body bag.
Protecting those areas of the jungle. Guess what? Willer is still level 2 on this champion.
Oh, he gets away from it, still gets pulled back in. Chovy is punched, and the rookie Adam from France finds first blood at Worlds.
He's playing for style points at this point.
Yeah, FLICKR just TP's top. Ari doesn't have it yet. The team back to lanes. He keeps getting ganked.
First blood, Vulcan still in the area, but the Yumi can't finish the job. Oh, it's Oh, that is the most embarrassing way to die in League of Legends, and it just happened.
Matt way over aggressive on that. The force onto Leona under the tower. And Jensen chasing. He's
Locked
got
up
the flash.
Carzzy, incredibly low, but Carzzy still living for now. No, again, Tactical's ulti hits home, knocks down Carzzy. Double kill comes in.
And I think a lot of this starts with the draft because
I really thought you were going to say success there. Whoa, close one.
It all leads to this. Make or break.
Vitality will take them!
A new era is waiting. Make it yours.